Hi guys, it's Andrew here from Eastonmade Wood Splitters today, and welcome back to the Eastonmade channel. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't been here before, what we do is we manufacture log splitters. And every once in a while we'll post a video up of different questions guys may have on them, and kind of what's going on around the shop, or if we're splitting somebody else's wood. So today's video is going to be about a question we get asked a lot. Whenever anybody calls about one of these commercial wood splitters, the question of either a 4-way wedge or a 6-way wedge comes up, because on our 511, 916, our Ultra, they all come standard with a 4-way wedge. When you get into our 1222 and our 2228, they come standard with a 6-way wedge. One wedge isn't particularly better than the other. It really depends on what your application is, what you're planning on doing with it, your production requirements, and the type of wood you get. So I'm going to try and hopefully fill you in on at least my opinion on it, guys, and kind of what I've learned from my experience. Everybody's going to have a different idea on, or different perspective on it, and if you do, by all means share it with us. Drop it down below. I'd really like to hear it, because the more conversation we get going here, the better off we're all going to be. We'll all learn something from it, and hopefully at the end of the day we'll be better for it. So for myself, a 4-way wedge is really well suited if you're into really big ugly stuff with big knots on it. Like some of this stuff here, that big piece of elm with that knot on it, run that through a 4-way. I know it's a bigger piece, you might wrestle it through a 6-way, but that's exactly what you're going to be doing. You're going to be wrestling it through a 6-way. Why not put it through a 4-way and make some nice quality firewood with it? Because you guys that have been in this business, that sell firewood year after year, you know that client retention is the name of the game here. Once you get a clientele, they're going to call you back year after year. If you have poor quality firewood, they're not going to. They're going to go to somebody else next year. So make sure you keep that in mind. The other reason you would run a 4-way wedge is if you're doing boiler wood. If you're doing big ugly stuff, or even like this stuff here, you lower the wedge down, block it in half, or even big chunky stuff. Because you're not gonna, if you're doing boiler wood, something for an outdoor boiler, you're gonna be doing stuff that's you're gonna want it chunkier anyways. Now a 6-way wedge. These machines, especially the 1222 and the 2228, the machine set up with auto cycle, you're going to be so much quicker doing this kind of stuff with a 6-way wedge than a 4-way. Because like most of this stuff, this is a log truck load of wood. This is standard firewood that you would normally get from any log supplier. Like, this stuff is pretty good. Bill Breckenridge brought me this load too. Riley Virgin was actually I delivered. He picked it out. Beautiful stuff. Like it's good looking firewood. Mind you, this is kind of the size that you're gonna get from most log suppliers. If you're buying wood in, that's a typical log truck load of wood. It's not gonna go for pulp, and it's not gonna make a saw log, so it's firewood, right? And all that stuff. These machines, when you throw that onto that machine, it's literally one pass through as fast as you can shovel wood to it. Can you do that bigger stuff with a 6-way wedge? Well, yeah, you can. Like this oak here, that's a little bit nicer stuff, you'll have no problem doing that with a 6-way wedge. The problem you run into splitting something like this with a 6-way, versus a 4-way is when you go to put your resplits back through a 6-way, you're gonna have more slivers, more raw ball shapes than if you did it with a 4-way wedge. So that's kind of the biggest difference between these two wedges. And again, it's entirely preference, honestly, guys, because we have lots of guys that we sell a 4-way to, they never take it out. We have lots of guys that we sell a 6-way to, they never take it out. And then we have lots of guys that take them in and out all the time. So it just really depends on what type of guy you are and what you want. But at the end of the day, the bottom line here, the number one most important thing is that you have good quality firewood. And if you're doing it for yourself, then obviously wood's wood, it's gonna burn. Like I know myself, like for my own wood, I really don't care. I'm gonna shovel any old piece of wood into the boiler. It doesn't, it's gonna burn, it's gonna make heat, so it's not gonna bother me. But somebody with maybe a smaller stove, like in our house, actually, I have a fireplace insert. We just put one in this here, and actually last night was the first time we actually lit it. But I couldn't fit a big piece of wood in it. Does it work well? Yeah, it works. It really works fantastic. Good burn. It lasts all night, heated the whole house. But I can't put a big piece of wood in it, and if it were an odd shape, it wouldn't be much good either. So I guess that's my spiel for today. I guess that's kind of the biggest thing with it, guys, is quality of firewood and time. Like I said, this stuff here, literally as fast as you're going to throw wood onto that machine, it's going to split it for you. Where if you're into the big ugly stuff, you're probably better off to run a 4-way wedge on it and either work around the knot or at least make nicer looking pieces with it. It's a lot easier on the machine too. So anyways, guys, if you liked the video, give her a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button on the bottom, and thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch the video today. Like, it means the world to us. Like I said, drop a comment below. Let me know what your take is on. I'd love to hear from you. And hopefully see you at the next one, guys. Thanks a lot.